Hello, hello, hello. This is Attorney Mike Gravel coming to you from Chicago as usual. And we had quite a day. This morning I was going to do this stream, and then I ended up getting into a chat with Elisa Matthewson, and she came on. That was an amazing stream. I'll put a card or something up to it, and I want to thank her again for that. It's also an interesting juxtaposition to what we have right here, which is she's one of the best court appearances I've ever seen. And tonight we've got three of the worst court appearances I've ever seen. They are deliciously awful. Don't worry about me. I took a big fat nap in between. I had to put water. I had to put water on my head because my hair is all sticking out. All right. Let's get this party started, shall we?
Counsel appearance, please.
Yes, Assistant Public Defender Scott Nickel on behalf of Ms. Brown for arraignment this morning.
Thank you. Ms. Brown, how are you?
Good.
Okay, today's the date that's set for an arraignment. I have a felony complaint here. It states that on or about September 4th, 2022, at the area of 517 West Madison Street, Apartment 4, located in the city of Lansing, Ingham County, state of Michigan, that you did allegedly, contrary to law, commit the act in count 1 of assault with a dangerous weapon, also known as felonious assault. It alleges that you did make an assault upon a Brian Hammond with a dangerous weapon, that being a knife, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or to inflict great bodily harm less than the crime of murder. This was done contrary to Michigan Compile Law 750.82. This is a felony. The maximum penalty is 4 years and or $2,000 in fines. Your DNA is to be taken upon arrest, and a consecutive sentence may be imposed under the law if the assault was committed in a place of confinement. Do you understand the charge that was just read to you and the maximum penalty, ma'am?
I understand it, but it's a lie.
Okay. Well, I didn't ask if you agreed with the charge. I was just asking if you understand. This is just an arraignment, so the purposes of today's hearing is to read the charges to you and explain to you your rights. As to any defenses, though, you'll have an opportunity.
I can't remember this judge's name. It was the first time I've seen her, all of about half hour ago. She's fantastic. However, I think this is Lansing, Michigan.
To address that at another time, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm assuming that's a yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Ms. Brown, you have the right to be represented by counsel. Mr. Nichols is representing you today for the purposes of your arraignment only, but you have the right to have an attorney with you at each stage of the criminal prosecution, and if you're going to be questioned by law enforcement. And you have the right to have an attorney with you even if you can't afford one. So if you can't afford to have an attorney, you can request to have one appointed at the expense of the public. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Mm-hmm.
No, you need to use your words, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Use your words. The mom and the judge came out there. Use your words.
Okay. Is she requesting court-appointed counsel?
She is, Your Honor.
Okay, and Ms. Brown, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say and anything that you put in writing can be used against you. You have the right to plead guilty. You have the right to plead not guilty, or you can stand mute. You have the right to proceed to a preliminary examination in this matter. You have the right to have your examination within 21 days of today's date. At the time of examination, you have the right to have the prosecution meet their burden of establishing that there's sufficient probable cause that a crime was committed and probable cause sufficient to charge you with that crime. This matter is to proceed beyond the preliminary examination. That will be bound over to the circuit court for further prosecution. You have the right to have a trial in the circuit court. You have the right to have a jury trial. At the time of trial, you have the right to remain silent and not have silence be used to imply or prove that you're guilty. You have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. You have the right to call witnesses at trial or present evidence that you believe would further a defense. You have the right to see, hear, or question any of the witnesses that the prosecution calls. You have the right to have the prosecution prove each element of the charges being brought against you. They have to prove each element beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you have any questions about those rights?
No.
Okay. For the purposes of her arraignment, how would you like to plead, Mr. Nickel?
Not guilty, Your Honor.
The court will enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf. You're currently scheduled for probable cause conference before Judge Cynthia Ward on September 16, 2022 at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Hey,
That will
Kurt.
be held via Zoom, although you can't appear in person if you don't have the ability to appear via Zoom. Your preliminary examination is also before Judge Ward. That's going to be in person here at the court, and that's going to be on September 23rd, 2022 at 8:30 in the morning. Did you get a notice to appear, ma'am?
You did, Your Honor.
Well, I give her credit. Most of these defendants won't shut up. This one won't talk. But it's intentionally rude. That's the problem with it.
It should be the white sheet, ma'am.
I'm reading it now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And do you have any questions at this time?
No.
Okay. Are you currently on probation or parole?
No.
Are you currently employed?
Yes.
Where do you work?
Home and home. I'm an adult care giver. I'm a NA nurse assistant.
Oh, God help the people under her care.
DNA.
Okay. Thank you. And what's your home address?
51.
Okay. Where are you? Does Brian Hammond live there?
Yeah.
Okay. Where you can't stay there during the pendency of this matter. So where can you stay?
I don't know. I'm going to get my stuff from over there.
Okay. Well, you're not allowed to go over there. Because
how am I going to get my stuff? You going to go get it?
I sure am not. I sure will not be going to get your stuff for you, but there will be an order for you not to go over there.
Well, I need my stuff.
Yeah, well, you'll have to make other arrangements. I don't know what to tell you. You'll have to make other arrangements. This is not a negotiation either. Okay. What's your phone number?
248.
Just fine.
Yes, Your Honor. I did have a chance to speak with Ms. Brown. She informs me, looks like her only prior record is some minor driving offenses and an impaired driving from 2020. She is employed. She has been living in the Lansing area for the past 42 years. She reports that she's never failed to appear for any court hearing before. And if she cannot reside at the address she was previously...
Did he just say 42 years? If that's the case, I'll give her this. She looks good for 42.
Previously living at. She said she is willing to reside at a shelter while she looks for some other place to live. But she would request permission to potentially have a third party go over to the residence just to pick up her property so that she can have her clothes and other personal effects while this case is proceeding. And she...
By the way, the judge was in the middle of saying, fine, we'll get you an officer escort over there to get your stuff. But she was so freaking rude, she just decided to skip that part and carry on with it. I could see it all day long.
She cannot return to the residence.
Okay.
I would ask that Your Honor to release her on a personal recognizance bond at this time.
Okay. Just based on today's interactions, her communication with the court, she's made it clear she's not willing to follow the court's orders already. I don't know what your experience was in just having a private discussion with her, but I think she needs to undergo a CMH evaluation personally. Yeah. So I am going to order that. I'm also going to order that she be released on GPS tether. These are some pretty serious charges or allegations. And they're pretty concerning. And I'm not, this is not your opportunity to speak, but I will give you an opportunity when I'm done, okay? They're very concerning, and so I do believe there is a risk to the public safety, but primarily to the victim. There will be a no contact order issued protecting Brian Hammond. Ms. Brown, you're not to be within 1,500 feet of wherever Mr. Hammond lives, works, or goes to school. You're not to be at the address of 517 West Madison Street, apartment 4. You're not to engage in any assaultive or threatening behavior. You're not to use any alcohol or drugs unless you have a valid prescription. You're not to travel outside the state without prior approval of the court. You're not to possess a firearm, knife, or any other dangerous weapon during the pendency of this matter. You need to report to pretrial services within 48 hours of release. You'll be reporting to them weekly. So we'll set the bond at $1,000 personal recognizance with GPS tether and victim notification. Okay, did you have a question, ma'am? Okay, so it sounds like she has no questions. Any additional matters for the record, counsel?
Nothing further for the record.
Thank you. You're all set.
And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't make Oscar beg. It's rude. Okay, so all three of these clips, I actually threw it. By the way, I did a Contempt in Court playlist. I just made it because I've had so much contempt lately. And I threw this on there. Nobody actually gets contempt, but they all deserve it. Absolutely all of them. And yes, I don't know what's going on with the guy bottom right and his headdress there, but you know, it doesn't even come up. That's the level we're dealing with here. That doesn't get mentioned.
Miss Anderson, what were you doing with Mr. Curry so that we can let him get to work?
Thank you. I have paper discovery on him. I just need to get digital and get a PCC date.
Another PCC date. When do you, what are you looking for? A week, 2, 3?
Any of them are fine. It's really up to how long Bren thinks it'll take.
Poor Lauren Anderson here represents Sean Curry, who you will see in a moment. And this entire appearance, all she wants him to do is close his mouth. Just shut your hole. That's all she's asking. She doesn't get it. She doesn't get it. But that's all she wants.
But other than that, whatever.
Bren,
which case is that?
This is Sean Curry at 8 a.m.
Okay.
I'm never kiss ass. Hello?
I'm waiting to see how long they want to adjourn it, Mr. Curry.
They about to adjourn it again?
Yes, Mr. Curry. I'll call you and we'll talk about it. But yeah.
Oh my God, why they keep adjourning?
Mr. Curry, Mr. Curry.
Well, Mr. Curry, let's talk about why we're adjourning it. We're adjourning it because you didn't show up last time. The reason why we are sitting here, and you're muted, but the reason that we're sitting here today is because you failed to appear. You failed to appear.
Miss Brooks, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Brooks. I'm sorry. I know you a nice lady. They notified me so late. You know,
all right.
Mr. Curry.
Mr. Curry, no. I'm just explaining to you why, and your attorney's going to call you. She's asking for another date so she can make sure all the ducks are in a row. Got it?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Heather, give them a date.
I have 2 videos, Lauren, that I'm about to send over, added. So I think that's everything. I did make the request, and that is
That's Your Honor or Judge Nice Lady to you, Sean.
what was uploaded and shared with me.
Okay.
Can I get the videos as well?
Mr. Curry, I'll call you. I promise. I promise.
All right.
Okay, let's not do this on here. Let's not do this on here. Bren, do you want to set it next week just to make sure that they open and we're good?
Somehow he gets muted. I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if the clerk did that or if he does it accidentally, but it spares everybody because he is just running his mouth in the background the whole time. But most of it, he's muted.
There you go then. It sounds
That's
like
fine with me.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, so the 24th at 8:45.
That's perfect. Thank you.
It's going to be in front of Judge Martin next week.
Thank you so much.
I'm ready.
This is two files. It's Douglas. September, before you got here, I did mention to Mr. Andrews, this is either the 6th or 7th time that he's filed.
Well, first of all, those are two new judges. I'd like to welcome them aboard Law Talk with Mike. They both did fantastic. They're welcome here anytime. Both of them, wonderful. And here we are, of course, with our good friend Judge Middleton. He's got a landlord-tenant situation. He wants no part of it. I feel so sorry for him. These people do not like each other. To the point where I think that there's some romantic involvement. I don't know. That's pure speculation, but it seems to be suggested in here. Tell me in the chat what you think.
These actions. He files them, then he doesn't follow through.
Yep.
I have told you both previously on the record, you need to follow through with it and you need to get out of there. This is an unhealthy situation.
Absolutely, sir.
But here you are, you're still there and he's still filing this action to terminate the tenancy. Mr. Andrews,
Thank you.
the law requires that I set this for a hearing, an additional hearing, at least 7 days from today, which would be next Friday. Ms. Knowles has indicated she wants to secure counsel. Now, she was gone for some months because she was serving a sentence which she has completed. And so she's returned there to this house. And she's got that behind her.
Which I'm not happy about, and we will get into that.
All right. Well, at any rate, you have a right to have this matter adjourned for 7 days. Are you both available to next Friday, September 9th at 10:30?
Yes, sir, but I would like to address some things that could possibly be addressed today.
All right.
Okay, so I just contacted TRPD, and my home has been broken into by Mr. Andrews, and my home was fingerprinted and proven to be by him. He pushed my air conditioner in, and they brushed it, fingerprinted it. He has also driven through my lawn and destroyed property. He has stolen property and destroyed property out of my home. And he has also put marks on my son. He has done violent. I looked up this statute and he checks every single one for me to not get the $200, but the $6,000. I called Mike Hills and he was on.
Okay, so now we see the game. We're just going to load up allegations against this guy because she read the statute and she thinks it's a payday. It's hard to take.
And so he is willing to take my case.
All right. Mr. Andrews, she's alleging that you violated the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act and you've unlawfully entered this premises.
Many times I went to Menards, sir, and I've changed locks, and there's proof of saw.
I wish you had moved out of here back in 2000.
He should not be a landlord.
Well, he is, and you're there, and the only reason you haven't moved is you haven't got anywhere to go.
He's sick in the head.
All right. Well, there's an additional issue. When's the last time any rent was paid on this?
I have the money. I flashed the money, but he won't give it to me. He won't take the money, excuse me, because I have a relationship and he's 73 years old.
He sent you 3 years old.
He's 73 years old,
okay.
And he will not.
All right, well, slow down.
See, right there, she said, I have a relationship. I take that to mean with him. I could be wrong. I might be reading too much into this. The poor guy, I feel for. I'm sure everything's not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But between the two, she's just like a flamethrower, like Pike Leva here, and he's just like, no, it didn't go on that way. And I I tend to believe him, but I don't know. I don't know the underlying facts, but she is out there.
I have all the money to give him.
All right, he's not asking for the money. He's asking.
He just did 2 days ago. He was just at my house asking for it. I have a hot tub on my.
He doesn't want the money because if you accept the money, then it stops the order of possession that you're seeking. So I really highly doubt that. And now she says that he agreed to have a hot tub on the deck or the porch or something. I don't know. That doesn't sound like something most landlords would go for.
My deck, and I paid $279 for the circuit, and he went and clipped and cut all of it off the wall of the house when he gave me consent to have the hot tub.
All right. Well, Mr. Andrews, you could be liable for money damages to her.
Oh, multiple.
Contract. She's going.
And my vehicle.
All right.
He's stolen my battery, everything.
All right. I don't, like I said, I
It
would
was
just.
Jerry Springer shop.
Period.
I helped that guy, and I
All
really
right.
did.
Slow down. As I said, this is a very unhealthy relationship. And this is the 7th time you've moved to terminate the tenancy, and this one, she's expressed that she would like to move for 2 or 3 years. The first case was in 2019, but she hasn't moved. She's still there. She's still dissatisfied, but you want her to move, and so you started this termination of tenancy action. So the law requires that I adjourn this for 7 days. You have a right to file an answer.
I'm going to milk this as long as I can.
What's that?
I'm going to milk this as long as I can, Middleton. He's done too much damage.
Okay, I'm going to milk this for as long as I can, which is like street speak for I'm about to commit fraud before you. And or as we like to say here, fraudery, of course. And then she refers to him as Middleton, which sometimes I slip into here, but I'm on YouTube. I'm not before him seeking a victory in the legal dispute.
He's broken into my home.
Right,
he's put his hands on my son.
At some point, you're going to have to move.
Well, I know that I have a place to go, but I'm going to make sure I get my money from him.
All right. Well, money.
I have a place to go, but I refuse to move there right now. That is the worst thing possible you can say in court under these circumstances. I'm just dragging this out on purpose and using the legal process. That's straight up contempt right there. The judge is going to sidestep it, but it's the worst thing possible to say. And having said that, I'm sure it's the truth.
Money and possession are 2 different things.
I looked up my statute rights.
Okay, I'm not saying that you don't have them, but he
I'm not saying you haven't. I am guessing that you didn't understand it properly, but I'm not saying you didn't look it up. Okay, maybe you did.
He's asking to terminate the tenancy. The lease has long since expired. I've granted several other actions, and then he hasn't followed through on them.
Do you know that my house is condemned?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that makes it. There's my second clue that makes me think that there's more to this relationship. He said I've granted it several times and he hasn't followed through on it. So I mean, the whole thing is ugly. It just is.
Yep, I called the city hall and they threatened to put him under arrest because he shuts my water off. He broke into my house and changed my utility, my AEP to his name unlawfully.
All right,
yes, you did, sir.
Stop. Nobody's under oath. We're not taking lying. All right, but
I got proof of it.
If you're doing these things, you could be in violation of the Landlord-Tenant Relationship Act, and these are called unlawful lockouts. And you could be liable to her for money damages. So you may consider getting an attorney as well. But the bottom line is, at some point, this tenancy has to end. You need to get
I already have a new home.
Needs to
And I already have the
back. All right.
I'm not giving you a penny. You owe me.
September. This is not about money. I'm not ordering that you pay anything. In fact, I haven't ordered anything, period, yet.
Thank you, sir.
I've adjourned it for a week.
It's always about,
If he gets what he asked for at that hearing, I won't order you to pay
he's a
money.
money-hungry
either.
man.
I will order you to move.
Thank you, sir.
And you would have 10 days from then to move.
I need,
And you need to move. You
I
know
need,
that I know.
that's right. That's right.
So
And
you don't.
She has the unmitigated gall to call him a money-hungry man when she has admitted in open court that she is just staying there to spite him.
Don't have to tell me where, but you do have another place lined up.
yes,
to
I have a
move to.
garage. I have a nice house. I am very satisfied,
All right. Well, if you end up moving, the whole thing.
but I
could
need
be-
time.
All right. Well, you're going to have 7 days, and then you're going to get 10 days from then.
But you need to order this man or he needs to go to jail because he keeps breaking in my
All right.
house
Well, I can't at this point make a finding, but I will tell you this.
and stalking me as
Stop.
well.
Don't go over there. You're subjecting yourself to the lockout statute. So this matter's been adjourned for a week. Don't do anything with utilities. Don't go to the house. Don't. Apparently, Three Rivers has done a criminal investigation, according to her, and have your fingerprints from the inside of her house.
Yep.
Which it's your house, so I don't know. Anyway, that's yet to be determined. At any rate, this relationship needs to come to an end, at least the tenants. And I think Autumn agrees, September agrees with it. She just needs time to find a place to go to. So next Friday,
Sick man.
9/9 at 10:30. Okay? All right. In fact, I don't want you guys to cross paths.
I want him to stay away. He
All
keeps
right.
breaking in my
All
house.
right, I just told him that. If he breaks in again, he's subject to criminal prosecution.
But he
So
does it
stay
anyway.
away from there. All
And
right.
he'll have Quizette do
Look
it
at your
too.
All right.
lease
All
agreement.
right. Well, we're not taking any testimony here today. Mr. Andrews, I want you to go down to the counter and get the notice for next Friday's hearing at 10:30.
Aye.
September, I want you to stay in here with me because I don't want you to cross paths with each other.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Andrews, you go out to the counter, get your notice, and I will see you next Friday at 10:30.
Okay.
All right. I've got one more case to do, Ms. Knowles, and then when he's done, I'll let you go get your cup.
Thank you, sir.
I don't want you to run into him.
He's nasty.
All right. I don't want to go anymore. Well, like I said, I've already heard this 6 times.
He marries women for money. I learned a lot about him.
All right. Well, let's just try our next case here. Miss Vorty, can you hear me?
That was my favorite. If I could rewind it, Judge Middleton's look after she drops the "he marries for money," as if like it's the worst thing in the world. First of all, you know, I won't even go there. I won't even go there. But if he does, good on him. More power to him. But it doesn't really matter, and it's not shocking.
Oops.
He's an idiot.
Okay. Stop.
Jesus, God, help me.
Stop.
Well, you know he is. And he
All right,
plays
well, we're on to
stupid
the
with-
next case. We're still on the record. The live feed is on, so people are hearing everything you're saying. So-
I know, Tyler, too. But I know Tammy is
You're gonna end up on Law Talk with Mike if you keep going.
his wife. We
All
cut
right,
it
just
in.
let's finish our next one here.
I know.
Well, there you have it. Like I said, I had 2 of these 3 clips lined up this morning, and then I got to have an awesome discussion with Elisa, and that turned into an awesome stream in and of itself. Then the clip I got from Sammy Samala just recently, and I'm like, okay, I got to go with these. It's too good. I need to get them out. I need the therapy. I need to process it. Thank you all for coming out. That's good stuff. I will see you all soon.